Hi everyone, it's Friday, August 8th. Welcome to KBIS G Plus Hangouts. Today we are talking Social Media 101. It's the Kickstarter to your social media campaign at KBIS 2015. This is specifically for exhibitors. That's kind of how we've targeted it for today, but attendees, free to listen, some great tips that we're going to share today, so please join in. This is actually going to be a part of a three-part series. We're going to do two more of these, and we're actually going to publish them as a white paper at the end. So if you're taking notes, great. If not, you are going to get, exhibitors can ask us, and we will send you the white paper at the end of the three-part series. So what we're trying to do to maximize your social spaces to enrich your show experience is our goal here today. With me is my co-host, Brian Pagel, Vice President of the Kitchen and Bath Group for Emerald Expositions, and our special guest today is social media specialist Kimberly Williamson. Now, Kimberly was a social media expert long before anyone put that on anyone's Twitter bio, which everyone puts on now. She's worked in social media for over 7 years, so that's kind of a bit of a pioneer, I think, Kim. Kim has lectured at NYU on various social media topics. She's a popular conference speaker on social media, and for the last 2 years, Kim has spearheaded the KBIS social media efforts. So, Kim, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Leanne. I'm happy to be on this side of the Hangout today.
Okay, Brian, before we get going on today's topic, and we did tease it out a little bit on our platforms, we have a pretty exciting announcement that is literally breaking news today. So right here, right now, we're going to hear this for the first time. So, Brian?
Yeah, well, we're very excited. You know, we've been working hard since the show earlier this year, coming up with things that we can do differently to better meet the wants and needs of the marketplace. And so we've created this concept called KBIS Next. And KBIS Next is going to be centered in the South Hall. It's really going to be focused on a lot of different innovation happenings in the marketplace, but it's going to have a few key components that we're particularly excited about. The first of which is we are able to leverage our ICFF property, which is the International Contemporary Furniture Fair, and we're going to be doing a pavilion at KBIS in the South Hall. The thing that's interesting about this is we think our design community is going to really get behind this, but you know, we're going to be bringing in high-end furniture and accessories to the marketplace. So we think it's going to be a huge attendee draw. And we're very excited to bring that element within the Emerald Expositions portfolio into KBIS. Along with that, we're going to have a lot of great content on the floor. We're going to have a KBIS Next stage, which will be located in the ICFF Pavilion. And we're working on a lineup as we speak right now with some very great hard-hitting topics and speakers. So everyone should obviously stay tuned for that. And in addition, we're doing some different things. We've included a KBIS Next Tech Bar, which we want to be able to answer a lot of the practical questions that we know our designers and showrooms face on a daily basis on everything from being more engaged on a social media standpoint to just basic technical questions. So that's going to be a resource there. And then, of course, there's the tried and true Best of KBIS, which is our product awards competition to highlight the latest and greatest products coming to market, which, as we know, is juried by our friends with the Modanis blog tour. So that will be there. And then finally, we're going to be launching a new competition, but it's going to be centered around showrooms. We want to highlight all the latest and greatest technology and innovation taking place on a showroom level. So in the coming weeks, we'll be rolling more about that. And actually, I think that's going to be an upcoming topic in one of our Hangouts.
I think it is, so watch for that as well. So KBIS Next sounds incredibly exciting, and from a social media perspective, look at all the great things we can talk about just in and around that. So the ICFF presence is just going to be a great enrichment to the show. It's all coming together. So speaking of social media, that's what we're here to talk about today at the show, and with and as I said, very excited about the KBIS Next element of that. So let's dive into the social media now, Brian. Maybe we should have some context in terms of how important social media is to KBIS. Now, I know you did a little bit of homework and pulled some reports from the 2014 show, so maybe you can kind of share the amount of impact that social media had at last year's show.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we believe very strongly in social media, and obviously from the engagement standpoint, it's given us an opportunity to expand our reach and have more of a dialogue with the community on a year-round basis, which we think is incredibly important. But just to look at last year, You know, it was amazing. We went through the reports. We had 45 million impressions during the show. And, you know, it's important to qualify that. When we're talking impressions, those are just folks that have used our hashtags and our handles. So, you know, the marketplace was clearly talking about everything KBIS, which was huge, you know, while they were on the show floor. There are also, you know, 15,000 social actions that took place throughout the cycle. So those were people that were retweeting or linking to things that we put out there. So again, it all comes back to the engagement. You know, in connecting the dots, we definitely noticed that it added to registrations, and not just, you know, the folks that have been to KBIS in the past, but it really helped us to engage a new group of attendees that probably haven't been to KBIS or potentially to see many of our manufacturers. So it was hugely successful, and we're looking forward to building on that in 2015.
Fantastic. Well, this is a good start, what we're doing today. So, exhibitors, what can you do to capitalize on all this great activity from the show? And Kim, I know you're waiting patiently, and there's so much to share. And as I wanted to point out again that this is a three-part series. So today we are going to deal with what you can do now to prepare for the show. So Kim, what are some things that exhibitors can do right now to go to KBIS, get ready for KBIS 2015, and go?
That is such a fantastic question. I feel like the key takeaway should be the earlier you start, the more success you can have when it comes to time for the show. So the first thing that exhibitors can do is begin to engage and grow their audiences mindfully. Now's the time to be building up your communities. Build your connections on Facebook and Twitter, Google+. These are the platforms that will have the largest impact for your brand while you're at the show. And what the heck? Fire up an Instagram account and get the hang of it, because it is a great way to show off your products and visuals that are happening at the show. And here are some tips to help you get there. It's always good to start by doing a quick audit of your social media platforms. Are your spaces attractive? Would you like to spend time on them? Are your visuals compelling? Is your logo just right? How many times have we gone to social media spaces that belong to a brand and the logo's off center, or it's cropped weird? Not good, and easily fixed. Next, we can talk about your content. Are you sharing things that are compelling to your audience? Are you talking about things every month? You can do a creative refresh on your pages to keep things interesting. And now that's how you look. But what do your fans want to see? Is your strategy compelling? Are you asking your community questions to give them a chance to respond, or are you pushing out information just about your brand and your products all the time? That would be akin to going into a house party and only talking about yourself. No one really wants to spend a lot of time with that person. So mix up the types of things that you talk about, and actually really consider doing small ads or sponsoring your content in order to attract new community members. Just because people like your page on social media doesn't mean that they get to see your post anymore. And actually, Facebook recently made additional changes to this algorithm that makes it even more difficult. It's a competitive landscape out there, and even the most modest of sponsorships can have a huge impact on the number of people who get to see your content.
So that's an interesting point, Kim. Can you give an idea of how much you would have to spend on, for example, boosted posts or a Facebook advertising strategy, just as a starting point?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as a starting off point, Facebook sets as a minimum $1 to boost a Facebook post. And I mean, if you spend $1, the reach of that content is going to be smaller than if you spend 100 or 20. But it's really just a matter of supporting your content, because you'll see a huge jump in the amount of engagement regardless of your spend. It can be very modest, and you'll still have a huge return on that investment.
Okay, and I think there's a few other things too. I mean, contests are a great idea. Mm-hmm. Try out a contest now, and then you might want to do something, closer to the show. And when Kim said about a creative refresh, we're talking about your headers, the way your page looks. So perhaps if you're running a contest, your header reflects that contest at the time. It's all part and parcel in your strategy to make sure that all of your pieces fit together and all of your platforms look the same and are supporting your strategic messages. So some good advice there. And I can speak from experience in terms of the boosted post. Even last year, we did not have to boost any post. It was all kind of organic reach. But with the change in algorithm, you'll see a difference. Even putting $20 on something and gauging, and Facebook will tell you your reach for that $20, and you'd be amazed to see how many more timelines your message gets into. It's really worth it. It's kind of the way of the world right now, and you're going to have to make that leap to investing a little bit into the strategy.
Exactly. I feel like, particularly if we're talking about social media spaces that don't have a robust community yet, launching something like a contest can be really difficult because you don't have the community base to pull something like that off. Sponsoring content will really help you take that to the next level.
Okay. Okay, great. So we were talking about engagement on specific exhibitor pages, what you can do on your own pages. But let's take it one step further and talk about how to let people know that you are an exhibitor at KBIS, that you're going to be involved in the show, some of the activities that you're doing at the show. So, Kim, can you give us some tips on actually engaging with the KBIS community itself?
Absolutely. I can keep this quick and simple. There's 3 things that we can focus on: hashtags, chats, and sharing. First, I'm going to hold up handy dandy hashtag signs.
This is our special visual.
Special effect, just for you.
You don't have to pay extra for this.
Okay, so these are some of the hashtags that the conversation around KBIS 2015 are going to center around. Anytime you're posting about what you're going to be doing at the show or your participation at the show, make sure to use this hashtag, because this is the main hashtag everyone's going to be using to follow that conversation. This one, Design and Construction Week 2015, is the official hashtag for Design and Construction Week. If you're wandering over to IBS, make sure that you use this one. Next, Best of KBIS. And while you're using this, think about entering. If you are considering entering, make sure that when you talk about your entry or anything to do with that, that you're tagging your content with this hashtag. This one, our Hangouts that we'll be hosting weekly leading up to the show. You can share them with your community if the content is applicable to them. We could use it today. This one's exciting to me. For the 3rd year, we will be having our KBIS High Roller promotion. Our High Roller contest will be launched again after registration opens up, and it is a wonderful contest with fabulous prizes, so you want to make sure that you're involved in that one. And keep your eye on KBIS Race. It's a promotion that will be happening at the show, with a lot more information on that to follow. One that will be running again this year that's very exciting is the hashtag KBIS Selfie. It was really, really fun last year, and we had a lot of great entries. We're hoping to make it even bigger this year. That's KBIS SELFIE. And we're hoping that people will take pictures of themselves in front of your products and all over the show floor this year. And obviously, as we heard from Brian a few minutes ago, the very exciting new hashtag, KBIS Next. Now, one of the second, chats. That's the next way that we can engage. And it's also one of the best ways to connect with your audience is by participating in Twitter chats. There's a number of different ones that happen, but one of the main ones is KB Tribe Chat. That's definitely the most pertinent to our industry. And not only is the KBIS team going to be hosting a couple pre-show chats, one in September as registration opens, and then another one in January, but we're also having a progressive chat at the show, which is something that we did in 2014 that was really, really fun. So that's hashtag KB Tribe Chat, and that'll be very, very exciting to keep your eye on. And just a note about participating in these chats, if you have the opportunity, check out the blog for each chat ahead of time, because oftentimes they'll post not just the topic, but the questions that they're going to be asking at the chat prior to the actual chat time. And the benefit of checking that out is it gives you the chance to pre-write some of your content and even choose and select some compelling images that can help you jump in at the appropriate time. I can tell you from personal experience that these chats happen fast and furious, especially KB Tribe Chat. People get really, really excited. And oftentimes, by the time you see the question, you don't want to be going through all of your content to try and choose something. It's good to have those things prepared so that you're more free to interact with the other people conversationally while the chat is happening, and you know that you have content on the ready to go. And the next thing you can do is get involved with sharing. Share all of the show details that we're going to be posting to the KBIS Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Google Plus pages. And we're doing some of the work for you. Let your community know what's happening and let them know how you're involved. And remember to let us know what promotions and events you have going on as well, because we're here to help you get attention for them in addition.
Yeah, that's an easy one because literally it's a share button. And it positions you as being up to date on what's going on at the show, what you're going to be doing at the show. So we work hard to make sure that everything is out on all the KBIS platforms in a very, very timely fashion. So share it and let your own communities know what's going on at the show, and then they'll know what to expect from you at the show and how you're involved. So that's a key one. So tying it up here, so we've talked about what you can do now, from the audits to your creative refresh, running campaigns, running contests, how to get involved with the KBIS community itself leading up to the show. So tying it up here, the third area, I'm going to throw it over to Brian.
Well, thanks for leaving me with the easy one. But teed up pretty high. I think that the simple thing is it's best for our exhibitors to tell us what's going on. Just talk to us. Some of the best content we've had since we've been very aggressive with social media is the content we get from our exhibitors. So the more we know about what you're doing, the more we can help you and help to continue to engage this community. In our team, we've spent a lot of time to develop what we think is one of the best social media teams in the business. And we've been able to go from very little engagement to just a tremendous amount of engagement. I know we just cracked, I think it was 10,000 Twitter followers a few weeks ago because of some of the initiatives we've done. So please keep us informed. You can reach out to our team by direct messaging on any of our KBIS platforms, or you can also hit us at kbis.media@gmail.com. We're always there, ready to help. And feel free to call your account representatives. We love to get on the phone with you and see how we can help you develop a strategy that's going to meet your go-to-market strategy for the year. And just keep us informed. We're glad to help any way we can.
Great. Okay, so lots of information here today, and just I'll mention, I think it's the third time. Repetition is good, but we are going to do a white paper on the series of 3 hangouts that we're going to do. And it just occurred to me, if anyone wants to give us any feedback, if you'd rather have 3 modules sent to you, like a module sent with all the tips from today, or if you want to wait till all 3 are done, and the last one will be finished as of November, I believe, let us know. Use that, our Gmail address there. We use that. It's very tied into, obviously, our G Plus platform. So it's kbis.media@gmail.com, and let us know what you'd like to see and how you would like the information back to you so you can start planning your strategy for KBIS 2015 on your social spaces. So our next hangout, one other thing I wanted to add, the next installment, this part 2 of this, is we really want to bring some exhibitors who really participated heavily in social media at the 2014 show. So if there's anyone out there, I know there's a few of our exhibitor brands that are watching right now. If you'd like to be on a panel, I believe that's going to be the 2nd week of October, but I will confirm. We would love you to reach out to us and share your success stories and have you as a guest on our G Plus Hangout. So please think about that, because that would be great to have you involved on this side of the camera. Okay, so our next hangout is going to be about sponsorship opportunities for brands. We're going to have members of the Emerald Exposition sales team. We're just confirming the date on that. As I said, all summer it's juggling people's holidays and availability. So watch our social platforms for that, for any other sponsorship opportunities you can take advantage to maximize your show experience. So thank you, Kim. Thanks for the words of wisdom today, and great to have you join us.
Thanks,
Brian, thank you as usual, and thanks for that very exciting announcement about ICFF and KBIS Next, and watch all the social spaces because we're going to be talking a lot about that in the upcoming month. So happy Friday, everyone, and thanks for joining us.